Hello, Max. How you doing, buddy? We're having some difficulties here. It'll be just a couple more minutes, but we'll get it here in a second. Hey guys, how's it going today? We've been off down in North Carolina all day looking for some Bigfoot sign down that way. We didn't see anything, but we were at all day, so. How's everybody going? Hi, Mike. Going to be a little bit of a lag on this phone right here because it's all kind of slow, but we'll get it figured out. I don't know. Yeah, we're having some problems here today, but it'll work. So you guys got any questions? We're here to answer them. I think this fire is going to be a problem. I just think it's going to be a problem. Is that better? I think that's better, guys.
Did you actually click on it? Okay.
Well, it was my first Bigfoot encounter. It's been maybe 10 years ago, Max. I was back in the woods and I heard him coming down through some bushes. Couldn't see the guy. I thought it was a bear, but it came down almost into the clearing where I was at and he never stepped out. My phone rang. When my phone rang, he kind of appeared and ran back up the side of the mountain. I never seen his face. All I seen was his body. But I couldn't see him till the phone rang. I don't know if I scared him and he stood up. I don't know, but that's my encounter with Bigfoot. Tell us about your encounter. Anybody else got any questions? Well, by the way, let me introduce these ladies beside me here. The one in the middle here, this is my Tammy. And the one over there is Jenny. That's Tammy's cousin Jenny. They hang out with me all the time. So, yeah, I know you have more than one encounter, Max. Tell us about a couple of them if you want to. That's Jenny over there, by the way, waving to you.
Oh, I don't know. I just tasted. I just
Oh,
responded.
you talk.
Oh,
I don't know.
nice to meet everybody.
Yep, nice to meet you guys.
So what did you do today, Mike? See any deer? Yeah, I figured you did. I forgot to turn the camera off earlier. But it's okay. Yeah, wasn't paying any attention. I about ran out of gas. We were down to way below a quarter of a tank, so about ran out. That's pretty much our weekend trips down that way there, so. Any big bucks in the backyard? Hi, Lenny, how are you? I'm doing good, Lenny. You only seen does today, huh?
Oh, no bugs.
No bucks. Well, it's not quite time yet.
We saw one, didn't we?
Dead one.
Oh,
Saw
that's
the road
right.
was a buck, yeah. I believe you, buddy.
I believe you.
Yes, sir. There's things out there that nobody's seen. Nobody knows what it is. I can't tell you what I
That's
seen
right.
was Bigfoot or not, but what I seen wasn't something I'd seen before.
I seen all kinds of stuff that just don't make no sense. So
Yeah.
I believe you.
I came back from Florida. My dad lived by himself up on the old farm, and he had flour put all around the house. I thought he might have spilt some flour. I asked him about it. He said, no. He said, something looked through the window at me, and I want to see what it was. Well, the windows was about 8 foot off the ground, so, you know, whatever scared my dad, he never went back outside at nighttime as long as he lived. It scared him pretty bad, so. Same place to see Bigfoot, so. Must have been, you know. So tell us about your second encounter, Max. Yep, you never know what Bigfoot's eating out in those woods. Could be the deer that get wounded and people don't pick up, you know? Gotta eat something, so. Oh, you saw a UFO? Well, tell us about that, Mike. I've never seen a UFO, but I'd like to hear your story. Well, you've seen a bunch of them. I spend a lot of time outside. I've never managed to see one. So, who knows? It may happen tonight. You never know where Bigfoot's at. He could be right behind us right now. So, you never know, buddy. We were going to do all this. We were going to have a bonfire, do all this over in the edge of the woods, but it was going to rain. Rain was on top of us, so we decided to do this. So, wherever you see your UFOs at, Mike. Yeah, I didn't want to do all the trouble of setting up the cameras and it rain on everything, so we just set it up here. You know, this is the back deck on our cabin back here. And Works for us. At least we don't have to worry about the rain that way.
Hey, Daniel.
Hi, Daniel. How are you, buddy?
Hi, Daniel.
I'm glad you stopped by. You got a Bigfoot encounter you'd like to share? Hey, better not look at the phone very much because I know that mag's kind of aggravating me to look at it once in a while with the camera, I guess.
We are very new to this, FYI. I am very familiar with being on the other side of the live. Being the live one is totally new. So,
Right.
I don't know about them two, but I know for me.
We got a lag, so it's about 15-second lag. What you say takes about 15 seconds to get to us, so. What's up, Daniel? Yeah, that's natural gas, buddy. We're going to have some rain tonight, so I didn't want to set up, build a fire, and it rained out. So we just set up underneath the deck back here.
Max, I totally know what you mean, man. I got a piece of property out there, and a lot of times some weird things happen that just don't feel right. Couldn't explain it, but definitely seen some things. And most people wouldn't believe most of what I said, so
Yeah.
I hear you.
Jenny has some reports around her place of some trees that are all tied up from Bigfoot, so we're going to check that out before long. Just haven't had a chance to run that way. A lot of things going on, so. But I will take you guys along live when that happens. And you know, you can always go back and look at our live stream. You can't see it as soon as it happens, but the next day you can watch the same live stream I do every day. So you watch it over and over as many times as you want to. It just takes about 8 or 10 hours for it to process before you can see it. But I do run public live stream, so.
Oh, you saw the UFOs across the when you were driving across the desert?
Was you out close to Roswell when you see the UFOs? I like to go there and check that out.
Let's see what he said.
Yep.
Oh,
Oh, yep. Yeah, I've heard Roswell's pretty hot out that way. I'd like to check that out. Did you get any pictures? You know, when I saw Bigfoot, it's not like it was now. You hear, the first thing you do is pull the camera out your pocket and take a picture, but that's when telephones weren't real common back then, so I didn't think to get it out of my pocket. And it really wasn't time when I saw him. He probably wasn't 10 seconds, he was gone, so. It's a long ways back there, Max. Yeah, a long time before cell phones. I know where you're coming from, buddy. There's the cat. She didn't make the picture, did she?
No, she didn't make the picture.
She will. She'll be here. 1977. Yep, that was the year Tammy was born. Was 1977. You gonna go fishing tomorrow, Max? Trout fishing or bass fishing or what? That cat gonna knock something down. There you go. Get up there and play. Hang on, guys. I gotta get the cat off here. She's gonna knock the camera over.
I'll just tell you a little bit.
All right. I didn't kill the cat. I just made it move, so it's okay. It might have sounded like he died, but he didn't. Yeah, I'm okay, Max. Just moving the cat out of the way. He was gonna jump on the camera and knock it over, I'm sure. So Gotta love those cats. They're in the picture every day, seems like. They follow me around like a dog everywhere I go. That cat goes. So tell us about your UFO encounters, Mike. I'm really interested in that. I'd like to see a UFO. Oh yeah? Tell us about that one, Max. Interesting. Yeah, just a
A little
little.
bit more.
Looks like you got a supernova.
Yep.
That's pretty cool though.
Oh yeah, it's
Oh
nice.
yeah, that's clear now.
Mm-hmm. You know, I've seen some lights in the sky too. I thought one time I seen a one of those northern lights. It was in November. We were going to go hunting, and early one morning I seen some blue in the sky. And it could have been a UFO, but I kind of thought at that point in time might have been the Aurora Borealis or whatever they call that. So, but it could have been a Bigfoot or a UFO. I'm sorry, could have been a Bigfoot. You never
Could
know.
have been flying the
Could have been
UFO.
flying Bigfoot, yep. You never know what they look like. They
That's
could be
right.
shapeshifters, you know.
That's right.
So, but yeah, I think it'd be kind of neat to go out in the desert and look for UFOs. I think it'd be kind of neat. Who knows? Maybe someday. Talk Jeannie and Timmy into going with me.
That's a good one.
I can't see much.
Yeah, I think so. I think Bigfoot and paranormal go together too. I don't know if you've ever watched very many videos underneath the ocean or whatever. You see these octopus that change colors when they're scared. They get bright red or whatever. That could be what happens with Bigfoot. When he's calm and normal, you can't see him. But when he gets excited, maybe he turns that brown you can see. You know, there has to be color you can't see. There's sounds you can't hear. There has to be colors you can't see. You can't see the air, but it has to have a color. You know? Maybe he changes colors when he's scared. You can see him. That could be it. I don't know. Yes, sir. You never know. I mean, it could be a lot of things.
I
It could
think of
be-
it like the Predator.
Right. It
Yeah,
could be
like
just like a
Predator
predator.
movies.
It could also be an alien of some type, like she's talking about, that comes in and watches over you. It could be an angel. You don't know. According to the Bible, the angels are some of the ugliest creatures on earth. So,
It's true. Look
Yeah.
at some of those descriptions. If
Right.
you saw that thing in real life, you'd run screaming.
yep, it's kind of scary, Max.
Hmm.
I've never seen nothing like that. It'd be kind of neat to see, though. Here you got a lot of trees. You don't see a lot of sky. When you look up, all you see is the clearing around the house. You can't see very far. You know, the clearing's pretty small here, so it'd be kind of neat to see, though.
Isn't that one movie set in West Virginia, Tennessee, something like that? Fire in the Sky?
I don't know.
Yeah, any of y'all seen Fire in the Sky? Do you remember where that's set at?
I don't know.
I think it's somewhere in them states.
Max may be answering your question, maybe.
Right?
Like maybe,
Oh, okay.
maybe.
I was thinking it was.
I don't know. Could be a lot of things, but I know I've seen something. It didn't really scare me. I didn't really fear for my life or anything like that. It wasn't aggressive. But you never know. Anything with a mouth will bite you, so you never know. it could be aggressive, but kind of scary. But
That's true. I'm gonna get at the gas station.
yep, that's the first thing my dad taught me was no matter what it is, if it has a mouth, it'll bite you. Dog, cat, whatever, tame or not. So Bigfoot has a mouth, he will bite you if he has a chance, I guess, or if he needs to or whatever. But
Cool. I can check that out.
yep, we'll check that out. I haven't read about that.
I hadn't heard about that.
Tell us about some of your encounters, Jenny. You seen anything scary?
I've definitely seen some scary stuff. I can tell y'all a story if you like. Out there at my place, I had this ghost dog show up one day. It's a tiny little black dog, and he just out of nowhere just showed up, and I went to following him, and he had this like little red and blue bandana on and whatever else, and I thought like maybe the neighbor got a new dog, and so I was trying to chase him off the property, and I was about as close to him as I am to here, and he just poof disappeared. And next day I went out to the head of the woods, and there on a post was that bandana that dog was wearing, which was wild. That was wild. So I've seen him once since then too.
Oh yeah.
And ain't none of the neighbors. I know all my neighbors, and ain't none of them had a dog looks like that.
Yep.
But that's pretty freaky. I had an invisible bird fly over my head, about the size of a pterodactyl. So that was wild.
I don't know. It's kind of scary stuff, man.
I've had some definitely paranormal experiences out there. Most of it's kind of spirit based.
Right.
But
I imagine I'm about the scariest thing Tammy's ever seen. So.
you're correct.
Yep, I thought so.
I love it out there. Actually, that one time I made moon water.
Yeah, I remember
I made that blue moon water, and I had tiki torches set up, and I was out on my back deck or porch, and I was just making fun. I was like, "This is ridiculous," whatever else. And I went in the house, and I came out, and all those tiki torches were lined up in a square, like foot to head, foot to head, foot to head around my moon water. I wouldn't come off that porch for hours that night because I said, "Okay, that's what I get for making fun." So is what it is.
Yep, that's true. Oh well, it happens. I've never had any kind of experience like that. I'm pretty sure that my first wife was a witch, but we won't go into that.
Oh.
Yep, you'd be surprised what you hear if you really listen. You'd be surprised.
I'm sorry to hear about your first dog.
Yes, sir. Right behind where I'm sitting right here, that's where the stone ruins are at. It's back down in the woods here a ways. And I know that the guy at the road, he's probably in his early 90s. He told me when he was young that the old guy that lived amongst those ruins died inside of there was a house, I guess, there at one point or whatever. He died there. And he came down and dressed the guy and helped him carry him out to, I guess, where the hearse or whatever was waiting for him. So I know there's been at least one death here on the property. And I found a grave down over the hill here. It's just a bunch of rocks piled up with a headstone, but there's no marks on the headstone. It's small. Could be a dog, could be an animal of some type. I kind of feel like it's a baby of some type. But there's a huge hole dug back in here. I have no clue what it's for. It's just a hole in the ground dug. And it's not like any kind of foundation or anything around. It's just a hole. It's a round hole. I don't know. I kind of feel like the place here is kind of haunted. At one point, the house has no phone wires to it. But at one point, you could hear dial tones in the house. There's no phone lines to the house. You can go ahead and look at the telephone poles. There's no phone lines.
You remember that picture?
Yep.
That won't stay on the wall?
Yep. Stay on the wall.
I had a picture of my grandmother, or great-grandmother, I'm sorry, back in the early 1900s. She had died, they propped her casket up and took her picture. I didn't have the picture till a few years ago. I brought it home, framed it, and hung it on the wall. And every time you hang it on the wall, it falls. Finally, it broke the frame, so I stopped hanging it on the wall. I guess she didn't want to be hung there. So yeah, there's things in this world you can't really explain.
They lucky I come back here ever and hang out with them.
I know.
That one night scared me. Me when it fell off the wall.
That's how we keep the ghosts away, right there.
Who? Me?
No.
Oh.
that's you.
I probably brought them with me.
Yep. Yeah, I almost got 1,000 subscribers, Max. Won't be long. Probably the next couple of days we'll hit 1,000. But I'm still not going to have them put ads on my YouTube channel. I might sell some T-shirts or something like that on there, but I'm not going to put any ads on it. I mean, they run these ads. I run a live stream. They're going to put these ads at certain intervals during the live stream. And what happens if they put an ad right as Bigfoot's walking up? You know what I mean? They're not going to look for that before they turn the ad on. It's all going to be computerized. So we're not going to run ads on it if we can get by with it. But yeah, I'm glad to have almost 1,000. We're within less than 100. So hopefully we can get that 1,000 in a few days. But like I said, we're not going to monetize. We're not going to put ads on here. So we can still watch for Bigfoot. Yep, guys, I appreciate if y'all hit the subscribe button and help me out this evening. That's what we're here for, to give you guys a little bit of entertainment tonight. But usually I don't get in front of the camera very much. You know, I've only got a couple videos of me explaining what I'm doing or show you where I'm at or whatever. But for the most part, I just set a camera up, turn it on, walk away from it. That way there's no smell, there's no sound around that camera. What you see, you can hear birds, you can hear the dogs, see the cats, whatever. It's all, there's nothing staged. You're not ever going to be anything staged. Yep, I know, that's pretty much what it is.
No, a lot of stuff about Stonehenge.
Yep.
And what's that other one? The other stones. No, I can't remember what they're called.
Rolling Stones?
No. Oh my goodness.
I don't know.
I'll think of it.
I'm sure. Yeah, Easter Island, Max knows.
No, it's not them. I mean, yeah, but those two. But it's the ones that have like,
Pyramids.
I didn't know that was gonna come up. I wasn't prepared. I don't have my notes and I wasn't prepared. I wasn't prepared for this.
Yeah, I usually have to change out the battery at least once a day. I do have some cords I run out. Sometimes I don't have to use batteries, depending on where I'm at back in there. But yep, poor old Max, you got it figured out, don't he? Yep.
They just got busted not too long ago. Like they were destroyed, and it's weird because they're like they've gotten future written all over them, and I don't know why it's escaping me. Anyway, ignore me.
We try.
I know it's easier said than done.
We try to ignore you. Yeah, Tammy bought me a jacket for Christmas, and it's a heated jacket. It has battery packs that you plug into it, heats the jacket up. Well, the battery packs are the same ones my drill uses. I've got like 8 batteries for the drill. Well, the thing that plugs into the jacket also takes a USB. You can plug the USB into my camera, and the battery packs will charge the camera, keep it charged up. Like I said, I can usually get by about 1 a day, sometimes twice, depends on how long I have to stream. But which one?
Tammy.
Oh,
Tammy's in the middle, and Jenny's on the side over there. Wave, Jenny.
I think he's asking about Tammy.
Oh,
But I'll wave anyway.
oh, the one in the middle, that's Tammy.
yes, that
Yep.
was-
That's Tammy. That's my lady there. We celebrated our 20th anniversary here not long ago. She looks young, but she's not young. She's not as old as I am.
Well.
She's not young. She's not
I'm
young.
not old.
She's definitely old enough to knock you off of here if you don't behave yourself.
She's the one that keeps me straight. Yeah, there's a lake down in southern part of Virginia, right on the Virginia-North Carolina border, within about a mile of the border. And there was a sighting at that lake here not too long ago. Went out there to check it out, but it's either foggy or whatever. And I want to check that lake out a little better and see. I think there might be some activity around. It's kind of remote, back in the middle of nowhere. There's no signs that guide you to this lake. It took Tammy and I an hour to find it. It was just a few miles off the road, but it took us a while to find it. So who knows? Maybe get some videotape of that. But
Married in 1989.
yep. Well, the first girl I was with was about 20 years or so, and unfortunately it didn't work out too good. Or fortunately it didn't work out too good. I ended up with Tammy, so I'm not complaining much about her.
Not much.
Not much. No. Not much. What's my favorite place to go bigfooting? In the woods. Chasing Bigfoot is like playing the lottery. If you don't play the lottery, you can't win the lottery. It's the same thing with Bigfoot. If you don't look for Bigfoot, you're not going to see Bigfoot. You can sit in the house, he ain't going to come knocking on your door and say, hey, I'm here. You got to get out and look for him. You know, like you're talking about going to your camp. That's what you do. You go to your camp, you set up, you look for Bigfoot. You know, always take your camera and be ready to record whatever you see, because you might be the next person that sees it. You could be famous. You could be the one that shows it, you know, to everybody in the world. But the reason I do a live stream is because, well, for one thing, it's easier to, the animals don't know you're there if it's just a camera. There's no infrared or anything on a camera. You know, just regular screen camera or whatever. Now, the ones that do the field cameras or trail cameras or whatever, they have infrared on those guys. And I think Bigfoot can see that. He can't see the camera that I'm using here. There's nothing emitted. It's just a lens. And one reason I do the live stream is because it will be really hard to alter a live stream. But once it leaves here tonight, it goes to YouTube. The only person that can alter that would be somebody that works at YouTube. And if I videotape it, if I just take it, it's easy enough to edit that and change it. So we don't do it that way. We do live stream.
I don't know. Did you see that, Jeff?
Did you see it,
He's
Mike?
asking about the power line cut through where that lake is.
Not that I seen. It was really foggy when we were out there. Can't see much on the lake. Beautiful lake though. 500 and some acre lake's what it is. But yeah, I want to go to the one up there in Hocking Hills too. There's one in Tennessee before that. I think it's in June. May go to that one there for sure. That's a little closer than Hocking Hills for us, so we may go to that one. But I don't know, if you're there, we might be there too. You never know. I think that's about 4 hours from us. Hocking Hills is. I've been through that area.
For the record, I'm sorry. This is my favoriteest cousin in the world, and you can't get us together and we start giggling about the most ridiculous things. So you may have to
Yeah,
just ignore us
sorry.
over here.
It's like living with two 12-year-olds.
Some days it is.
Yep.
And so I don't want y'all to think we're giggling
Right,
at
no,
y'all. It's
definitely
it's
not.
giggling amongst us. We can't help ourselves.
Right. That's why I hang out with those guys. Yeah, I worked up in Dayton for a good bit. I worked all over Ohio, but I worked for a company out of Dayton, Ohio for a long time. I worked in Columbus. I worked Cleveland a little bit. Columbus, I don't know, Dayton. I worked several places. Some of the Amish country up that way I worked in. I worked for a company. I was an equipment operator for a company for a long time. I know Ohio pretty good. We haven't been there for a year or so, but we go up to Cincinnati a good bit to the zoo up that way. I like the zoo in Cincinnati. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I got kicked out of a bar in Cleveland a long time ago. Guy said something smart to me, and I had some issues with him, and we had a little fight there. And Turned out he was a police officer. And when his buddies came, they beat the heck out of me and removed me from the location. So it was a long time ago. But I haven't been to that website, Max. I'm going to check it out. Yep, going to have to check it out. But you see these guys out here running around the woods screaming like Bigfoot or whatever, and that's all show. That's all for the camera where you guys are at. You know, honestly, you think about that for a second. You can't bark like a dog and the dog come to you. You can't meow like a cow and the cat come to you. So how can you scream like a Bigfoot and Bigfoot come to you? You know, and honestly, even if you're speaking Bigfoot, if he comes to that, what are you saying to Bigfoot? You could be making him mad. He might come rip your head off, you know. I'm not going to scream like Bigfoot out in the woods. This is about as loud as it gets with me talking right here. What you generally see is what you guys see all the time. Just peace and quiet in the animals. Yeah. I imagine that was tough, Mike. Mm. Is it raining there yet, Mike? It's not raining here. I thought it was going to, but
No, we got.
I only heard a couple of sprinkles, but
Yeah.
oh well.
The wind kicked down and died down too.
Kind of neat. We were up in Cincinnati there a couple of years ago, and we weren't far from the stadium there in Cincinnati. And you could hear, we were watching TV, we were watching the game on TV, and you could hear the fireworks and people screaming, and then like 15 or 20 seconds later, you could see it on the TV. It was kind of neat. So. You guys ever go to Cincinnati to the stadium? Good, Mike.
I'd like to go to the zoo.
You would.
Yeah.
We'll have to make a trip up on
I
that.
would.
Yeah, it's a nice zoo.
Well, I mean, I grew up around D.C., so I used to go to that one all the time. That's
Right.
a great zoo. I love that zoo.
We've been to this one a couple times and haven't seen all of it yet.
Yeah, you never
So,
could
yeah.
see the national. Good grief, you go 3 days in a row and you wouldn't see everything.
Yeah, we stay over in the Kentucky side. Is what we do across the river. That's where the Purple People Bridge is at.
Purple people is in the purple people eater.
It's a bridge that's purple.
Great.
And you can walk across, it goes across the Ohio River. You can walk across that bridge. It's kind of neat.
But in the middle, you're in both states.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
You ever been to the Purple People Bridge, Mike? I know they had a fire there by the Purple People Bridge, and part of it was shut down for a while. I think there was a playground fire underneath the bridge. Messed it all up. I don't know.
That's true. I did go to Point Pleasant too to the Mothman Festival, and that place is amazing. I
Yeah.
stayed in a haunted hotel too.
Did you?
That was really cool. I had some weird thing go on there, but I'd have much rather had a more haunted room. Some of the rooms are more haunted than other ones. It's the tiniest little hotel you ever saw, but it's a neat little place.
Well, here, you know, I had some strange things happen this week too. Go ahead. I wasn't trying to jump in front of you. Go ahead and tell your story.
Oh no! I just it was definitely wild. We took some video and stuff, but I got some of those pictures where they don't come out
Right.
like they should have.
Right.
And there was one painting in that hotel that freaked me out. I can't even explain why, but it followed me everywhere I went, and I don't know. It was weird. It was a weird experience. I'd love to go back there again. It was really neat.
Well, this past week, I had some strange things happen here. I had a camera out, and the camera basically, the cord come unplugged from the camera somehow or another. Something pulled the cord from the camera. Or when you shut this live stream down, it turns into a private video. In order for you to see this video tomorrow, you have to go into the settings and change it to public. Well, when that video shut down after it got unplugged, it went straight to public. There's no way to do that unless somebody changed it on the camera. So You know,
Well, you know, some of that stuff does some funky stuff with the electronics.
tell them, yep, it's
Sucking the
true.
batteries out and doing all kinds of different things. And yeah, it was weird. Like the pictures, I kept taking them, and it would be almost like I took 4 pictures, but they were all fragmented into one. They were wild. They were wild.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Sounds kind of scary. That's one reason I put the night feed on, so you can hear anything that comes around at nighttime, or if it's a ghost or whatever, you never know what you're going to hear or see. So you're not going to see anything at nighttime because it's pitch black, but you never know what you're going to hear. So
That is very true.
I've been leaving it on about 8 or 9 hours a night. So I've not went back and reviewed the tape to see if anything happens or not, but I haven't had any comments where anybody heard anything much. But you never know. Bigfoot could be right behind me right now. You just never know. Could be right behind you guys. Could be on the other side of that camera. He could be watching this. You never know. But yep, that's true, Max.
Yeah.
You never know, buddy.
So I said, you look at the natural world and how much odd, anomalous type stuff there is in just the natural world that people know and accept.
Right.
But you start talking about something like a Bigfoot, and they just say, "Oh, that's not possible." It's like, really?
I mean, he could breathe. He could actually breathe the air and live off of that. They always say there's not enough animals or enough trees or whatever to eat. But I mean, there's plants in the world that live off the air. You know, the moss that hangs out of the trees in Florida, they don't take any nutrients from the tree. They take it from the air. You know, Bigfoot could do the same thing. He could breathe his meal.
Well, you got the
Yeah.
opposite of that. You got plants that are carnivores and whatever else. I mean,
That's
it's
true.
just
You never know. There's some strange
nature's
things.
full of wild stuff,
Yep, that's true.
like the elephants and the, being able to communicate
Yeah, I know,
with
Mike.
whales. And,
You're like me, Mike. You're too old to stay up at nighttime. We leave home early in the morning, so I have to get a little bit of sleep. So I generally turn the live stream on at nighttime and just go to bed. Sometimes I'm up a couple times checking or whatever, but most part, I just turn it on and go to bed. But
He listens to your advice more than he watches.
I'm sure everybody does. I know that lots of people just turn it on and leave it because it's kind of soothing to them. I agree, Max. Like I said, when I saw Bigfoot, I wasn't scared. Didn't feel threatened at all. But it all happened pretty quick. I figured it was a bear, but even if it had been a bear, I still wasn't in fear that day. I've never been attacked by a bear. Generally, when they see you, they run. That's what I figured would happen if it was a bear. He spotted me, he'd run. I had no clue it would be Bigfoot. No clue whatsoever. But it wasn't a bear. Unless that bear can learn to run on 2 legs through some briars up a hill, no, it wasn't a bear. My throat's sore tonight. Yep. I would say the Bigfoot's kind of like most other animals. I'd say he probably has to have a good bit of contact before he feels comfortable to come with you. And sometimes he may not feel comfortable with one person, maybe somebody else, maybe you're the person he feels comfortable with. You never know. You make sure you get plenty of pictures when you see Bigfoot, buddy. That's the ticket, is the proof of pictures and video.
again, that's the whole thing. Everybody's got a vibe and a frequency, right?
Yep, pretty
And
much.
you never know. Like some people, dogs just love them no matter what, and animals in general. It's whatever vibe and frequency you put out. So you never know if you're putting that out and drawing him in.
That's true.
So, or them. I wouldn't say him because there's.
It could be a guy, you never know. It could be a girl.
Well, you should. I figured there's both.
They are,
Right.
but they could be neither.
Well, that's true. That's true too.
You know,
That's true too. But you know what I mean.
I know.
I'm not saying him as in that's all there is. Yeah. was trying to remember that X-Files. That was one of the best ones.
Yep, I agree with you, Max. You never know. Well, that could be what happens to a lot of kills. Bigfoot grabs and takes off. I've shot deer before years ago and just not be there when you get to where they were at. Could have been something grabbed it and took off. You never know. I mean, he's a lot bigger than I am. What I saw, like I said, I'm, 5'10", 240 pounds, 250 pounds, and it was a lot bigger than I am.
Well, I'll tell you, that's kind of wild, because remember I told you that my farm dog showed up with that whole deer leg with the hoof and everything in the yard, and I was like, where the heck did you come up with that?
Yep.
Right.
You never know.
Never came up with nothing else but just that whole leg. So, interesting.
Yep, that's true.
I never thought about it.
That's true. I would say it's a source of protein that they take advantage of if they get to or whatever.
I'd say so, because they're plentiful too.
It's true. But you'd think as many get hit on the road, they'd be a lot more carried away, or you'd see Bigfoot more along the road. There's some sightings along the road, but and I'm sure that there's a lot more people that see Bigfoot in this world than actually admit to it.
That's probably
Because the
true.
first thing happened when I said I saw Bigfoot, everybody laughed at me. I'm not crazy, I'm not here trying to convince anybody anything I didn't see. I actually saw something. I guess it was Bigfoot. It was big. It had 2 feet. It ran on 2 legs. So I guess you'd call it Bigfoot. But I know that there's a guy that I met here recently. And I guess the guy recognized me from the videos here, and he was a police officer at one point. He was a deputy sheriff, and he has a Bigfoot sticker on the front of his Jeep. And I think the guy wants to tell me a story, because he come in and he told me that his buddy seen this and his buddy seen that, and you could just kind of tell the guy wanted to talk about what was going on. So he's come back a couple more times, and I've spoke to him about a few things, and now he's wanting to go. He wants to go metal detecting. So I guess me and him's gonna go metal detecting one day, and I would imagine he'll tell me the story about Bigfoot. And I would imagine I won't be able to get it on live cam, because I'm sure him being a deputy sheriff or that line of work or whatever, I'm sure he's not going to expose himself to very many people so they can laugh at him. Is my opinion of it. And I would imagine there's a whole lot of people that see Bigfoot and don't ever say a word about it, because I get people on here that tell me that I'm crazy. I disabled the comments on all of my videos other than live stream, because I'm just tired of people telling me I'm crazy. I'm not crazy. I saw something. Jenny's not crazy. Well, she's a little bit
crazy,
she's
but
a little
I
bit
seen
crazy,
stuff.
but she's seen something. She's not lying about that. And I know that it's the same thing with Max. Max seen something. I know he did. Mike saw lights. He don't know what they were. Maybe they were UFOs. But Mike's not crazy. That's the thing. You never know what's out there in this world. Don't ever put somebody down because they're telling you something you don't believe, because it could very well be the truth. You look at the UFOs here recently, they exposed that there's actually aliens that walk amongst us. Okay, this is a news story that happened, a couple of weeks ago, and they're just kind of hiding that from you, but it's actually, there are aliens that walk among you, and it's kind of scary that the government would hide that for so many years. But
Well, wonder how many people actually see something and then don't trust themselves, so they don't talk about it, because they're like, nah, there ain't no way.
yeah, I mean,
Ain't no way that happened.
I'm not, I don't think I'm crazy. I get up every day and go to work. I'm not crazy, Tammy's put up with me for 20 years. She don't think I'm crazy, and I'm not making this story up. I actually saw something in the woods. So that there's other people that have not told because of that. So always don't pay attention to what they say to you guys. If they put you down because of it, don't worry about it. That's just somebody that's being stupid or whatever, I guess is what you might want to say. Or they could have seen something themselves and not want to admit to it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
So they got to ridicule other people, because they're like, I'm not going to admit I saw that
Right.
thing.
So that's exactly right. So you never know. But
What do you mean Max. That it's off.
You got to enjoy that camp while you can, buddy. You never know. Just got to go as many times as you can. And like I said, you never know. Bigfoot might show up there tomorrow morning. You don't know. He could be looking through the window tonight wondering where you're at. But I hate that you didn't get to go this weekend, buddy. I know you were looking forward to it. But I don't know, maybe next weekend for you. Well, guys, it's getting along about bedtime for us. I think we're going to get off here and maybe turn on the ghost cam for tonight and let you guys listen to that if you want to. Yeah, it's kind of scary, Max, but you got to watch because it could be a bear too. You know, black bear this time of year here have cubs. If you get between a mom and a cub, she's gonna eat you up. You got to watch. But it could be Bigfoot. He could be trying to tell you something. You know, it could be the same thing with Bigfoot. It's like the deputy sheriff I was telling you. Maybe he wants to be your friend and tell you something. You know, you got to believe, buddy. Just keep an eye out. Make sure it ain't somebody. Make sure it's not a bear.
Oh, they don't have bears.
Yeah, they don't have
Yeah, I bet you got bears around there somewhere. If
Do
they
you,
get
do you have wild boars or anything like that?
wild pigs, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of hateful too. Good grief, I had a neighbor's domestic pig come terrorize my house, so.
Yep.
Uh,
Bears are pretty common here. When I first bought this house a couple of years ago, down in the woods behind here, there was a, I guess you call it a place where the bear crapped all the time back in behind here. And not so much now. A couple of them got hit on the road close to here, so I guess they probably got wiped out. But there was a bunch of bear sign back in behind here a couple of years ago.
I definitely got the scat out around that.
Yep. Yep, that's true. All right, Mike, you have a good evening, buddy. All right, Max.
All right.
Good night, buddy.
Good night, guys.
Night, y'all.
Appreciate you guys stopping by and seeing us this evening. I think we're going to shut the live feed down and go to bed ourselves. Be sure you click subscribe and notifications, guys, and watch us again. Good night, y'all.